You're a little sleep deprived and a pretty busy 36 hours for you, to say the least. How's it feel to be in Morgantown, and your impressions, general impressions of the school so far?
Well, I'm excited to be here. Great fan support. People will be very welcoming. Appreciate the time they've taken for our family. And I'm just ready to hit the ground running. Spent a lot of time with our players. I'm excited about who they are as people, and looking forward to moving forward.
You talked about your family being educators. How did you actually pick football coach to become a football coach?
Well, it started for me. My dad kind of tried to steer me away from the education field, and so I had a business degree. And I got a business degree because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I felt like that gave me the most opportunities. Actually, funny story, I played for an Arena League team. Played our last game actually in Wheeling, West Virginia, and I knew I wasn't going to do that anymore. I knew I didn't have any NFL aspirations. I was a completely average college player. I was trying to put off going into the real world. And the head coach that I finished my career with, Mark Whipple at the University of Massachusetts, offered me an opportunity to come back as a graduate assistant coach. And I took him up on that offer. Probably 2 or 3 months into doing this, I knew this was my passion, knew what I wanted to do.
And Coach, obviously Big 12 football, a big change as far as conferences go for you and such, but how do you feel like being the head man of a program where there's no pro team in the state, and this is basically it? You're going to be under a microscope.
Yeah, I think any time at these jobs you're going to be under a microscope. Have some, we don't have any pro teams in Kentucky either. Obviously 2 schools sharing the limelight in that state. But we are. I think that's one of the things that makes this job special. The experience in the Big 12 as an offense coordinator at Texas Tech will be greatly beneficial in this role as well.
I know how Mommy kicked Dana out of the air raid club. Are you in the air raid club?
He sent me a text, so I hope so. I hope so. I think I don't know if he necessarily kicked Dana out either, but he sent the text, and I think what it is as you move from an offense coordinator role into a head coaching role, and as you call plays and do those things, it is you have a greater understanding for what your needs are defensively, special teams, and to me, especially when the weather changes, you got to be physical and run the football.
So you brought it up, Coach. What do you know about Coach Narduzzi?
Coach, I don't even know if we've met, so I know his background. Obviously have a lot of respect for him, what he did as a defense coordinator at Michigan State University, and what he's doing at Pitt.
Coach, when you heard the news that Coach Holgorsen was leaving, did you ever think at that point you would be the next person they'd hire?
We've been dealing with this over the last couple of years. I think any time that you have success, and we had a lot of success at Troy, and then really over probably the last year to 18 months, anytime a job came open, I started getting off Twitter and getting off social media because really founded or unfounded, my name was going to get popped up. So what I did think, I thought it was a really good cultural fit. And if they were going to have interest, I was going to have mutual interest.
Have you turned down jobs in the past?
We're in opportunities for jobs. Probably don't need to get into it.
They called the Sun Belt the Fun Belt, and you got, the Big 12's kind of looked at it as kind of wide open. How much do you feel your Sun Belt experience helps going into this conference?
I don't know if the Sun Belt experience so much benefits. I think the benefit is finding your niche as a head football coach, and I was able to do that at Troy, especially over the last 3 years. Feel really good about the systems we have in place and how those are going to translate. I think the question people want to know is, you make a jump from a group of 5 to a power 5 is do you understand the concept? Well, being a coordinator in the SEC and being a coordinator at the Big 12, I already know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We've had a plan. We've been running our program at Troy just like a Power 5. I just said we're balling on a budget. We got a little better budget now, so we continue we're going to continue to have success.
What did you learn from Mark Whipple?
With Coach Whipple, who you're probably familiar with, he was quarterback coach. Yeah, won a Super Bowl. Actually left UMass and they coach Ben Roethlisberger there with the Steelers. A lot of respect for him and what he's done as a football coach. Definitely a mentor for me, somebody I leaned on. I think, when I went to UMass, I grew up in Kentucky. Went to Boyle County High School, played my first 3 years at the University of Kentucky for Hal Mumme, and we were throwing the ball all over the place. And when I went to UMass, and not only playing for Coach Whipple, but then working for him as well, he was still really electric. They called it the whiplash offense back in the day. But they were still scoring points and putting up passing numbers, but they were doing it in a different way. A lot of play action passes. They were running the ball, and I figured out, and what I learned from him is when the weather changes, you've got to be able to run the football and then take advantage of opportunities downfield.
Now, what did you learn from your first year at Troy and going through that experience? How will that help you here? And obviously, you don't want to go through that again.
Well, it is. There's not some. At Troy, what had happened, Troy's a very, very proud program. The head coach before me, Larry Blakeney, took that program from Division II all the way to Division I. That's only been done one other time. He's only one other coach in all of college football. And when he retired, he had one of the highest winning percentages. I have a ton of respect for him. And we had won 4 conference championships in a row, Sun Belt Conference championships, when I was there as an assistant, and then they won after I left and went to Texas Tech. But then they had a dry spell from about 2011 to 2014. So we took over a program then that was in very much a rebuilding mode, and that's where we had the rebuild the wall mantra. This is different. This is a team that won 8 football games last year. Obviously, lost a lot, especially on the offensive side, key personnel. So the learning process is for me is you don't need to be stubborn. You need to accept the players that are here, make sure they feel welcome, and then use their abilities to the best and put them in a position to be successful, and not worry about so much schematics, whether it's mine or whether it's Vic's scheme.
You're inheriting a roster that's got 2 scholarship quarterbacks.
Yeah, we need to sign. We need to get some more help in that room.
What's your opinion on transfers, 4-year transfers, JC guys? Where
I think you always have to be open-minded in how you go about building your roster, and you have to be creative. And the way college football works is I'm not big into making the rules. I really don't have an opinion about the rules. All right, I want to know what the rules are, and let's go play by them. And so the grad transfer market, I'm not talking about quarterbacks here. I'm just thinking about you need to evaluate the grad transfer market. We have a lot of ties, recruiting ties, in some really good junior college areas in Mississippi, Kansas. I look forward to getting here in the Northeast, because the football in the Northeast junior colleges above us has gotten really, really competitive, and they've had some really good players here. The thing that we're going to do a little bit different from a junior college standpoint is we're going to recruit those players for a year plus, almost like you would go about recruiting a high school student athlete.
You called your own Skelly?
Say again?
You prepared to throw Skelly?
Can I No, you don't want me throwing. Shoulder surgery got me. I'm done. Yeah. Hey, we'll have some people.
You a quarterback?
No, I played receiver.
You called a lot of your plays, obviously, at Troy, and here at West Virginia. Do you plan on naming a co-OC, or are you going to do all the things yourself?
Yeah, we'll release that. We'll release that today. I kind of want it to be. We're rolling out Vic today. We'll have some staff members that we're going to introduce to everyone, to the public, in the next few days, and y'all will have, at the given time, y'all have some opportunity to touch base with them. I will call the plays. How we're going to structure offensive staff is still to be determined.